Welcome to this week's update. Two in a row. That's possibly a new record, tied for the old record. I'm not sure. This frequency is not great, but two in a row. Um, it's gonna be a shorter one, but I think it's also a more important one, focusing on getting off the YouTube treadmill. And I guess a little bit of background information is necessary for that. And it's the way that YouTube functions, I think, has changed. And I think it's changed because the creator environment has changed. And I don't know when this change occurred, but it feels like there's a lot higher volume requirement in terms of relevancy. It feels like channels which do not put out much but focus, more time on larger or more detailed or better researched or better production quality products get unnecessarily penalized, which is really sad. And I guess the way that I've been trying to deal with this is just try to increase output whenever possible, but that's less and less viable just due to the balancing what is a hobby with actual obligations and responsibilities, which is really, really sad when I put it that way. But the other half of that, which I haven't mentioned, is having normal obligations and responsibilities are a consistent source of income, which is a lot better than what a lot of YouTubers seem to be struggling with now. They have a lot of problems with copyright and general stability, and it's a random slot machine that doesn't seem to reward anything except for volume. And I think that it's gotten a lot worse because of the volume or the amount that's uploaded to YouTube has radically ramped up within the past couple years. There are so many videos that are really obvious to me that they are not AI generated entirely yet. But AI assisted doesn't sound like it really covers how much involvement there is. Um, I can hear the AI writing because it is very familiar in its structure. You don't get the weird pauses and changes in tone that you get from a human narrator, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about rule of three and negation. There is a lot of the same structure. It's not this, it's that. It's one thing and another thing, but also a third thing. It's one of those things that you know it when you see it, or I guess you know it when you hear it, because it's unnatural. And I think the way that I want to describe it is that it is one continuous structure, and it is focusing really, really hard on making each of the lines the same and not necessarily having a good rhythm between them. Like when I write sentences, I know that there is a difference between long sentences with lots of subordinate clauses and quick, small, short sentences, and you need to balance them because they function in different ways. With long, nested subordinate clauses, you can have way more detail, but it is at the cost of comprehension, just because the more things that you string together, especially when there is levels of nesting within them, the more complexity it necessarily adds to the writing. Short, punchy sentences can be great though, because you can have like an extended thought or a long joke or um, cut off a paragraph with just let that sink in and then rephrase the last paragraph in one sentence. I don't know. I'm all on the spot now, but something like AI has taken over. The actual narration, though, is often computer generated too, and that's sad. I hear mispronunciation for words that I know how to pronounce. I think I know how to pronounce. Don't worry, there's always someone in the comments to help me out with my pronunciation. Thank you. But it is very obvious that the computer doesn't know what these character names are. Has no understanding at all. And that's fair. A lot of them come from foreign languages, or they have a pronunciation that is not obvious if you are reading English. I guess the computer only reads English for me, but that's okay. A lot of that. And then there's levels of computer generated images, and it looks like there is just a way to steal other people's relevant footage and just put it into your video in a way that is automated, which is probably a new issue. That's bad. And they don't care. That's the thing. They pull it from anywhere. Like all of a sudden I saw a clip from the 18th century cooking channel. Townsend, I believe is the name of it. And it was just there. Like it was not related to the video. I guess they thought it was background footage, and that's really, really weird. Anyway, what is this going to mean for the channel? I'm going to be working on better prioritization on the projects that I can do, especially focusing on getting to a minimum threshold of projects that I want to get out, which is going to be some winnowing, and there's going to be some separation, but I actually think that this is a good thing. I'm not focusing on any possibility that YouTube is going to be anything other than not even supplemental income. I want to say. I want to say that this is purely income that can go to enhancing the channel. And I think I'm okay with that. This is never going to be a job. This is never going to replace my 9 to 5, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, you know? And that's okay. The stability is very nice. But this is going to lead to slower production, and hopefully I can also increase the quality alongside that. There are still some things that I want to put out that are smaller projects, and I haven't figured out that balance point because I don't want to dilute content. I want not showstoppers, but I want to put out content that I'm very proud of. On another note, I'm getting off the treadmill, but don't worry, that's just on the YouTube front, because I'm going to be putting more effort on getting on the IRL treadmill, which is just good in general. I'm excited. Not great news if you're hoping for more content on the main channel. I did get some writing done this week, but I feel a lot better, a lot more optimistic than last time. And I think what really put it into perspective is like 2 different creators are struggling right now, and for different reasons. And I don't want to ever be in the position where if a video does poorly, it just removes, a quarter worth of income, a quarter of a year worth of income. That is terrifying. Especially if you're putting months and months and months into individual videos, which that creator is, and I'm very happy that he does. His quality is excellent. Not gonna say who, but you know if you know. The other thing is, it's terrifying if you receive an injury, like, say, a detached retina or a semi detached retina, and then you gotta be out for multiple weeks afterwards. That is horrifying because that's your income. There isn't insurance, there isn't short term disability to cover it. You're just stuck. And I feel like the YouTube algorithm might just leave you behind if you can't keep up. I think this is an actual treadmill in terms of the torture devices that used to be used in prisons. I don't know if they actually powered anything, but for hours at a time, you would just have to have the stepping motion over and over and over again. Also, they weren't nearly as ergonomic. It wasn't like a belt because the treadmill was human powered. It wasn't using electricity to make the prisoners walk on it. The prisoners were providing the power, and I really hope the energy was being used for something useful like milling flour. But maybe I don't hope for that. I don't know. It was barbaric. I'm getting way off topic, but yeah, that's the what the YouTube treadmill feels like sometimes. And I'm lucky that I'm not dependent on it at the moment. And that's great. Hopefully, I'm not going to be in the future. If I start taking shady sponsorships, I'll try to make an announcement ahead of time if things are really that bad. Like if I get debilitating illness or house catches on fire or anything like that. Knocking on wood, like actually knocking on wood for that. So I'll try to keep it like that, but I think this means no non shady sponsorships in the near future either, which I think is good. So I'm just gonna buckle down, focus on quality, focus on enjoying the experience. Not stressed, not upset that I can't make that I can't make the numbers go up because I don't think the website is designed for that anymore. I don't think it's designed to be rewarding. I think it's designed to be randomly rewarding, to manipulatively coerce more and more production that's not at a higher degree. I don't think that YouTube is being optimized for anything other than retention time. And I think what is happening now is videos are becoming just interesting enough to not click off of, but completely vacuous and useless at the same time. Not all of them. Sometimes I watch a video and it is fantastic, and I just stop and I think about it, which means I get off the website and I'm not on the YouTube, which is obviously the opposite of what YouTube wants. YouTube, the company, they don't want you to stop and think and even go back to that video later. So it's okay. It's just one of those things. I don't think that it's optimized for the benefit of the creators. I don't think it's optimized for the benefit of the users. And if it's not optimized for either of those things, I'm just going to get off the treadmill. And that's okay.